Our last example for the product rule. Once again, we see that this function is broken into three parts. So we're going to use that idea of having the u, v, w. Bring that sheet of paper up again. And we have to take a derivative with each part and then leave the other two parts alone. So we have u prime vw plus u v prime w plus u v w prime. Again, notice at the notation here, I already have the second derivative. It says h double prime of t. And where I want to go is to h triple prime. And so I'm going to do a derivative with each part. This first section, I'm going to use the power rule. So it goes 4 times the quantity t minus 3 raised to the third. The next two parts are left unchanged. Plus, now I'm looking at the middle part where I do the derivative. And so I leave the first part alone. Second part, I do my derivative using the power rule. 2 times t plus 1 raised to the first. The third part's left alone. And finally, we go to leaving the first and second parts alone and only taking a derivative of the third part. Because there was no power on the outside here, I'm just looking at the inside and I say the derivative of 5t minus 4 is just 5. And just like the problem that we saw a few examples ago, because these three lines share so much in common, I'm going to look to pull out the greatest common factor. As I pull out the greatest common factor, I notice that from all three of these lines I have a t minus 3 raised to the third power. And from all three of the lines I could pull out a t plus 1. What was then left over was, from the first line, 4, a t plus 1, and the 5t minus 5. From the second line, I'm left with the 2, and the t minus 3, and a 5t minus 4. And finally, from this last line here, I was left with the 5, the t minus 3, and the t plus 1. And just like that example we saw a few problems ago, we're going to want to do FOIL across these double sets of parentheses and then distribute our leading terms. That will allow us to combine all the like terms. Example, as I expand this, I expand here and here, I'm left with the opportunity to distribute the 4, distribute the 2, distribute the 5. As I distribute those, that left me with 20t squared plus 4t minus 16 plus 10t squared minus 38t plus 24 plus 5t squared minus 10t minus 15. And you see all these like terms in here. I combine those, and my final derivative, h triple prime, is equal to t minus 3 raised to the third, t plus 1, that was my GCF, and here where I combined all those terms in brackets, I get 35t squared minus 44t minus 7. Again, I repeat, all of these examples are typed up. You can download those, print them off from the website. That may help you as you go along with all of these examples.